What's up, YouTube? Sneed from Sneed Mobile Tech with a video here. This video is a little bit of a highlight and then explanation for some of the Spectrum auctions that have been going on. For this particular auction, there was 600 megahertz frequency that was up for auction. A little bit of history and background. This particular spectrum, this range, the 600 megahertz, is actually it's technically it's TV waves. So a lot of TV channels and TV stations were using the spectrum, and it looks like it was being decommissioned and then going to be recommissioned as spectrum for cellular. Now, why this is important is T-Mobile turned out to be one of the big winners from this particular auction. Now, keep in mind that AT&T and Verizon have previously gone hard on the 700 megahertz spectrum, so they already have their low frequency spectrum, which, again, keep in mind, low frequency spectrum is useful for cellular coverage in areas of expansive regions, so covering lots of space, having range, and then also getting penetration through buildings, large schools, stadiums, arenas, and so on. So this is the type of spectrum that T-Mobile really needed. So actually, they had to go hard on the spectrum. Now, T-Mobile's been kind of playing from behind for the last several years. They've been the company that is, always struggled with their cellular coverage in those circumstances due to their lack of low frequency spectrum. So now they've got it. The issue now is, now that they've obtained it, when can they actually utilize it and start to deploy the technology they've acquired, in the spectrum. So, probably this year and then going to next year, more of their devices will be able to pick up this radio frequency, and they'll be able to utilize the spectrum. So, I don't want to say it's a big win for T-Mobile, but they have been playing from behind, and now they're in a position to where they can make some noise in this. Their CEO is very loud. He's very vocal. He's always trying to put the other carriers on blast, and T-Mobile's the Un-carrier, and they're the best and all that. Well, that hasn't been the case, honestly, because they haven't had the coverage. Now they put themselves in a position to be in the conversation. They're going to get the coverage that they've always lacked from that low-frequency range. So, AT&T and Verizon, they had no interest in the spectrum. T-Mobile had the opportunity to buy all of it if they wanted to. I think they bought like 45% of the spectrum. Comcast got in on it, as well as a couple other companies. They should have bought a lot of spectrum. And it's good to see they're spending the money and they're upgrading their network. But other companies are moving to 5G. And 5G needs high frequencies. So you could tell that Verizon and AT&T not getting anything on this, obviously they felt comfortable with their position with their low frequency spectrum. They're looking towards the high frequency spectrum, looking to the future, investing in their 5G network development, and so on. So, T-Mobile playing behind a little bit. This does put them in a good position, though. It's definitely a good move. I'm glad to see it. I like competitive markets, so this is good to me, even though, I'm a Verizon customer. I do support it. I like T-Mobile as a carrier, and, I'm kind of glad to see it. So for those of you with T-Mobile or planning on getting it in the future as a potential carrier, now's a good time. They're going to start, sending out workers and employees and start to deploy the rest of the equipment to make this spectrum usable for their customers, and it's good to see. I'm very happy. That's it for this video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.